is more a veteran player. Looking at standings, they are a relatively. We're seeing some of the higher ranked teams. So it looks like Apes Together Strong is currently second place in the Noxian division, and then Men's Women's Torment I think would be third or fourth, depending on which teams have played each other from week to week. So we should have a pretty good game here. I'm excited to see them play. So we have, for Apes Together Strong, Cyanite in top, Randomonium in jungle, King Majora on ADC, Kazoo in mid, and Uncle's Alone Time in support. And then for Men's Women's Torment, we have Bob 123360 in top, Tim Yim in jungle, Zyari in mid, Jugram Harswolf in ADC, and Fat Tiger 233 in support. Looking at the picks and bans, so I double checked in game. That is an Ornn jungle and a Set support with Omnistone on the set. So I think that Men's Women's Torment certainly bring out some of the interesting picks. You see Set support sometimes in pro play, but I think that it's been kind of up and down based on matchup. It's certainly very good into other melees or into champions that can't really escape Set easily. And Taric is very much a melee. And will have to exist within Set's threat range to kind of do anything. Ornn used to be a very interesting jungler because when Hunter's Potion existed, he never needed to back. After he got Hunter's Potion, he would just build items out in lane. And that's still for the most part true. So he really brings a lot of global presence as far as junglers go, because he can just build his support item, his jungle item, without going back. The only thing he needs to back for is wards. But he's also not the strongest ganker pre-6, and because of the way his passive works and how he gets his upgrades, Ornn generally wants solo lane experience. He's very level dependent. And so I think for Men's Women's Torment, seeing if Ornn can keep his farm and gank pressure up to not fall behind on levels and to stay close to the soul laners is going to be really important. But they were drafted 3 big front lines and then 2 very strong carries in Ryze and Kai'Sa, who both bring a lot of DPS in the late game and who both benefit from having a front line to peel for them and protect them. Apes Together Strong, I feel like, has drafted pretty hard into the sustain. Warwick and Vladimir, very lifesteal and spellvamp heavy. Taric brings good healing and vulnerability. If they don't get CC chained by Men's Women's Torment's frontline, they'll have a lot of really good consistent damage. Like long drawn out team fights should favor ATS, but they are going to be a little weaker on the front line because they only have Warwick and Taric's going to be on a support budget. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking ready to get into the game. If you're ready, I'm ready to send it over to the producers.
Oh, I'm ready, buddy. I'm excited to watch both these teams collide here.
So looking at runes and masteries, it looks pretty standard. I think the 2 things that stand out to me are the lethal tempo Varus, which means this will be an on-hit Varus, and not the lethality Varus, which tends to go with Comet. And Halo Blades Kai'Sa. I've seen this increase in popularity. It's really good for lane trades because it gives you a lot of upfront attack speed, but it doesn't quite have the scaling of like press the attack, and it doesn't quite have the safety of like fleet footwork. So I'm interested to see what they go with. It looks like there was a slight invade to try to ward potentially around Warwick's red, but Warwick did drop a ward, which was cleared. So nothing really comes off of that invade. So they're going to try it again.
They go from one side to another, see what happens. If they catch something, they're pretty big, and they're going to be locked down for a hot minute.
Notably, Maokai has not taken his Q yet, so they've already taken their clearing abilities and not their gank abilities. Though Seth did take Facebreaker at level 1, and not Knuckle Down or Haymaker. It looks like Kazoo's going to be going the Glacial Vel'Koz. It's a little less damage than like Comet Vel'Koz, but it kind of like Vagar in the previous game. It brings a lot of utility, and because of the amount of true damage that Vel'Koz has, he doesn't need raw AP as much as some other mages do.
Now, with these matchups here, these are going to be some pretty long and interesting team fights. Who do you think comes on top in all this?
I'm leaning towards men's women's Torment just because their frontline and CC chain is so good. Their CC on Apes Together Strong, I think, is like you've got Warwick, Fear, and Ult, which is good. Vlad has slows. The Varus ult is a good CC, but it's also one of like the most legendarily easy to miss skill shots in League of Legends.
Oh, looks like we got a little skirmish bot side. Oh, big damage from Set there. Pushing out the Varus completely out of lane. If he comes into farm, he's just gonna be punished.
Yeah, they know that the Set's got Facebreaker. I don't know if what Keystone he had from Omnistone.
Oh, big splash by Set. Exhaust goes out. Damage coming in from the W. Taking out Set. Another huge proc. Does it take him out? Not quite yet.
And that's just showing the early game strength of Set. The first Haymaker was huge and did a massive amount of damage. I think it did 180 to King Majora, which is basically it did its maximum value of 180 or so. And like it's just the amount of true damage that Set can do is a lot when you're a top laner who has a large amount of HP. It's even more when you're an ADC who isn't very tanky.
Yeah. Now, with the men's women's strong together, they have a pretty tanky team fight. And do you think they're going to be able to build like an executioners to stop all of the healing coming from Apes Together Strong, or?
So I think the real question there is how do you deal with the Vladimir? Because Maokai, Set, and Ornn can all build Bramble Vest, which is very effective against Warwick, because Warwick has to be autoing attacking someone in order to heal off them. So if you have Bramble Vest, he's always affected by it. Taric is most likely going to be protecting the Varus, who's also auto-attacking and thus vulnerable to Bramble. Notably, Kai'Sa is generally not a... looks like Warwick was looking buff. It looks like he came there. Kai'Sa is not the best ADC for building into Last Whisper. She doesn't really like to build it if she can help it because she has a lot of mixed damage. She likes Gwynsu's, which has the same passive as Last Whisper, so she doesn't get maximum value if she builds Last Whisper. So I think they're probably looking at Ryze building a Morello to try to keep the Vlad under control.
Oh, there's a Hex Blast by Set there, getting that E down, but Taric immediately... Oh, Set's in danger. Here comes Warwick, coming in. There goes the W. His W's down. Quick. Goes to Varus. Auto attack completely comes in and just clean up really fast. Very good job on Warwick being there.
That returns a lot of damage back with the fully charged Haymaker there, but I feel like that was a case where King Majora and Uncle William were like, look, Random Money, we gotta get down here. This guy's constantly aggro. And they were just fed up with it, and they're like, all right, next time we get him. And they got him. So they get a return kill onto the set. Ornn's a little behind Warwick in terms of clear speed, but he also hasn't had to back yet. And he's already got his Bambi Cinder, so at this point his clear should improve significantly. Most tank junglers' clears before Bambi Cinder are kind of slow, and they take a good amount of damage. But once you get that burn and the little fire node and the health, it just feels so much better in terms of clearing the jungle.
Now, Ornn, I want to take a quick peek at Ornn here for a second. And with his upgradables, once he hits level 13, usually he'll go Abyssal Mask into Sunfire. But because it's a jungle item, I don't think it gets upgraded. So what do you think his other upgrade's going to be?
Yeah, so he can't upgrade Cinderhulk. I assume it would be Iceborne Abyssal Mask. Iceborne is pretty good. The issue is generally that A lot of the Iceborne upgrade is mana, and to be honest, since Iceborne gives 500 mana already, you don't really need more. But since Ornn always wants to get his own 2 items, I would expect it to be those 2. It'll give him a lot of armor, a lot of health and magic resist, particularly because he won't have the armor from Sunfire, as Cinderella doesn't give any.
There's a flash by Rise coming in. There's the Maokai ulti coming down. They're going to look for a turret dive. Interrupted the Vel'Koz ulti. Can he pick up the Maokai? He does!
Yeah, good use of Kazoo by the ultimate to trade back. And the tanks on Maokai and Ornn are just not super tanky yet.
Here comes Warwick. Picks up the Ornn there. Punishes him for staying for too long.
Yeah, I feel like I like certain aspects of that play a lot. There's other aspects I don't like. For example, I think that it was a bit ambitious for Ornn to dive that hard when he was level 4 and not very tanky yet. But I do like the decision by Maokai to rotate, because the problem is Maokai is not going to kill Vlad. Vlad just has too much healing and sustain, and Maokai doesn't do enough damage. So Bob makes the good call. He's like, look, I am not going to kill Vlad here. I'm going to roam.
Doing some nice damage to this Vladimir right now, but that Q is chunky. Completely healing him back up to health.
But Maokai's able to bring his own sustain, so he shouldn't really be in too much danger here, I would say. But yeah, he's got, does Ornn have, Ornn does not have ultimate yet, so it'd be pretty difficult for him to gank this Vladimir. I think I'd like to see Ornn farm till 6 here. I think Tim Yim is looking for a lot of early ganks where he's playing what is essentially a scaling pick, and instead just looking to clear here. He is going to take some of Warwick's camps and get to his level 6 and then use that to gank.
I'm excited for this little doggy. He's been sitting bot lane for a little while. When's he gonna move, though? Oh, the dog's leaving.
Warwick could look to solo Dragon here. He does have the level advantage on Ornn.
Yeah, he does have level 6 before Ornn as well. He's going in, but Rise is gonna contest him. He ults Rise. TP coming down from Vladimir. Vel'Koz full ulti. Hits down on Rise. Takes him out. Bot lane has arrived to the party. Set comes in, but there's nothing he can do to stop by 4 people. Taken out. Tarek, double kill.
I don't know if Kaisa was back or didn't rotate up, but Apes together is strong, do a really good job of concentrating force. It looks like Warwick is actually in trouble there. You know, he's dueling the Ornn, he expects to win, but then he realizes that Rise rotated in. He ults Rise, Vel'Koz just drops his damage on Rise during that, and Vladimir TP's in to answer, and they claim a win drake.
That's a really good trade by Apes Together Strong, and really good communication by bot lane coming up to roam there. They pushed down the bot wave, and so they had priority to move. Well, Kaisa had to either choose to go up and fight with them, or sit there and get her farm.
And I think almost all champions benefit from a win drake, but there's 2 that I would really highlight here, and that's Warwick and Tarek. Warwick's ult, Infinite Duress, is a pretty short cooldown. It's 110 seconds at level 1. It's a little shorter than most other ults. However, it's a really good engage tool, and Warwick tends not to build a lot of CDR, so a little bit of ult CDR will help him just have that engage tool available so much more often, particularly since he's probably the main engage for his team. And Cosmic Radiance for Uncle's Alone Time is a long...
Ornn, you're endangered. Vel'Koz makes a pick there.
Yeah, great communication between Randemonium and Kazoo. Like, jungle mid and bot and ADC support communication is really important to have those 2v2s always be on point.
Whoa, full Vel'Koz combo. Takes out Rise. Good night, blue man.
one of the issues that Rise faces is he doesn't have any way to interrupt the Vel'Koz ult. He doesn't have a stun, he doesn't have a knock-up. He could root Vel'Koz, but Vel isn't moving anyway, so that's an 8-stacked Magi on Kazoo. I would not mind seeing him upgrade that to a Magi Soul Stealer, because he's probably not in a lot of danger at this point. And Vel'Koz can go defense really effectively, but I wouldn't mind seeing him just, throw caution to the wind and build that.
Oh, here we go. Set ulting in, but the Kai'Sa's alone. She's going to die to Varus. And what's happening mid lane? Ornn is going on. The Flash smites the dog down. Rise is going in. He wants more. He wants the eye, but can't take it out.
And notably, Kazoo saves his Darksteel stacks. I feel like that's the point where you're like, look, man, I'm sorry, but I gotta save my stacks. Good luck. I was surprised the Blue Smite did that much. I didn't think Warwick would die to the Blue Smite, but he did. So Timian picks up an answering kill, which he needs a lot. He's been pressured in the river, gotten caught a lot. So that extra gold there is very nice. We have reached the point where top laners do not die.
Yeah, they've been smacking each other. They've been hitting each other. They've been sucking each other. It's just been a good time.
Yeah, like between Spirit Visage and his self-healing and the magic resist, Vladimir can't kill Maokai. Maokai doesn't have enough damage to kill Vladimir before he heals up, so at this point, I think it technically favors Vlad just because Maokai will run out of mana eventually. So Maokai took Relentless Hunter and Ghost Poro, which is interesting. I personally prefer Sorcery Secondary with Transcendence and Mana Flow ban, because Mana Flow means that you don't really have to worry that much about mana as a tank. But Ghost Poro and Relentless Hunter do give him some utility and roaming potential, which I think is good in a lane that he's not really going to win, per se.
Definitely interesting. Now I'm waiting for the Brambles to come out. I think they're gonna probably build him second item here. What's your thoughts about that?
I agree. Seth looks like he's going for Gargoyle Stoneplate, because he can use Gargoyle Stoneplate well since it doesn't impact the true damage out of the Painmaker. I wouldn't mind seeing it out of the Maokai or the Ornn here. Looks like Maokai's going to be going for more magic resist, but he's going to have to decide between Sunfire for wave clear and damage, Bramble Vest for anti-heal, or some kind of mana item.
Oh, here goes Set. What are they going to do? So Set has the Pearl Girther. He does ulti and does the W back, but the Taric ulti comes down. Warwick's here to answer to, quickly cleans up that bot lane.
Yeah, the Cosmic Radiance comes out, and they don't have enough damage fast enough to kill anyone before it comes down. Notably, Uncle's Alone Time does a really good job, where as soon as King Majora gets yanked with the Face Breaker, he fires up the Dazzle Stun, so they're not able to really clean up the Varus. And Apes Together Strong are going to pick up the first drag here. Or the second drag, sorry. So they're going to pick up Earth Drag.
Ocean Drag, Infernal Drag, sorry, comes out. This is big for them as well, doing that extra damage. Might even help them defeat the Maokai and Ornn. Just do those extra damage, take them out with that AoE burst.
Yeah, and it never feels bad to have an Infernal Soul. In my opinion, one of the underrated benefits of Infernal Soul is because it's AoE and it works on minions, it gives wave clear to champions that otherwise do not have it. Yeah, Apes Together Strong are really in transition. They're about 3,500 gold off. The Earth Drag is really going to be good for Warwick and Taric because they're sort of pseudo frontliners. Warwick's a bruiser, Taric is a tank support who doesn't have a lot of inherent tankiness outside of some bonus armor. Actually, I'm not sure he actually gets the bonus armor from Bastion. I don't play Terra, so I'm unfamiliar with this kit. But when you have champions that are having to frontline but aren't naturally frontliners themselves or bruisers, Earthdrag feels really good because it helps you take that step towards tankiness to make you more of a frontliner. Fool's already gone down here.
Fool's down. Ulti's coming up, but unable to catch that Vladimir. He's too slippery of a guy.
No, I'd call that a favorable trade because Maokai ult is on a 90-second cooldown right now, and Vlad's flash is on a much longer cooldown. So
yeah. Now we see that Apes Together Strong have a significant gold lead here. What do you think that women's Torment have to do to get back in this game?
I think they mostly need to stall. Vladimir is a really good late game carry, but Warwick kind of falls off. He doesn't push towers well at all, so he can't really side lane. He's durable, but not a mega tank, and his CC is either short range or it's his ult, and he can be interrupted out of his ultimate.
Or
they're gonna
friendly bro fist there, friendly bro fist.
And you've got Kai'Sa and Ryze who both scale really well, and you've got a really good two really good scaling tanks. So I think for them, it's mostly about stalling the game out and not giving up this soul. If Kai'Sa can get her Gwynsu's Rage Blade...
Flash coming in from Tarek. Ulti coming down from Varus. Is it enough damage to take him out, though? Not quite sure. They do try, but can't quite get the rise there.
Yep, he's able to flash out on Zyari's side. The piercing arrow is just off target. That would have almost certainly been the kill, but... Zyari does have TP. He could TP back into this bot lane tower, and with Ornn ult, they might be able to 2v2 this.
Oh, here they go, here they go. Okay, Ornn coming down, gets that double man knockup, but they just Ryze ult right behind them. Ornn double knockup. Ryze is here to try and clean up the crew. Is it enough to take out the Terror? Not quite, not quite. But Warwick's here to respond.
And the Infinite Duress is off the mark. Yeah, that was really well played. Ornn ults in, and at first my thought was, alright, they're not going to get this kill because Ryze is too far back. He will not be able to get to them to do damage before they disengage. But Zyari ults in and kills Varus right before the Cosmic Radiance comes down.
Really good play by women's Torment there. And now we get to enjoy some Vladimir, Maokai lane.
Yeah,
Heal!
Cooper, where he's just like, I don't really care about your damage. It doesn't affect me.
These are I love. Some people might hate these lane matchups, but they're really fun in my eyes, just because it's just a slugfest, you know?
Okay, Bob, you can't take that much. You can't take that much.
No, Maokai. Oh, okay. And he's out of there. Those are some fun lane matchups.
He's gonna go back.
He wants more.
So Dragon is coming up in just a few seconds. Oh, he didn't realize why he pulled aggro.
Oh, Ryze. Set ulti in. Vel'Koz ulti coming out. Going for the full wave there. They're going to be picking up this dragon nice and cleanly here.
I was about to say that I think men's women's Torment are in a position to try to fight for the dragon, but Zyari gets picked off, Set is chunked down and slain after going in. So Jokrim Harswalth is pushing mid. He's really just trying to like collect what farm he can and get to his Gwynsu's, which I don't think he has yet. I think it's sent up. He will have it, yes. So he is on 2 items, actually ahead of the Varus. Yeah, Varus is actually behind in gold. No, he's ahead in gold, but behind in itemization.
Has he not backed yet?
I'm not... What did he spend his money on that I think it's just that Manamune is cheaper. Like, he bought a more expensive first item.
Probably. They want this turret, though. They take out the turret. That should be a good cleanup of what they need. I think that he's going for Rage Blade here, actually.
Yeah, it'll be Rage Blade for the Varus. I was trying to figure out how Varus was behind on itemization compared to the Kai'Sa when he had more gold. And I think it's because Bork is more expensive than Manamune. So Kai'Sa had a cheaper first item and got to start the Rage Blade faster.
Ornn ulti coming in. Can they pick up the Vladimir here? No, he didn't phase rush out.
And Nimbus Cloak. So he gets that massive speed boost after using a summoner spell.
Very slippery vampire.
Yes. Looking at it, so Kazoo has completed his 2 core glacial items. GLP 800 and the Twin Shadows. He's working on a Landry's Torment, which I think makes sense. There's a lot of really high HP tanks on the side of Men's Women's Torment, and so Landry's is just super good against HP stackers. Warwick has completed Adaptive Helm, which I find a little interesting because it is good against Maokai and Ornn, but Spirit Visage is so core for Warwick because of the healing boost. And I don't know if there's someone like a Cassiopeia or a Brand where you would like have to have adaptive.
Oh. There's a lot of damage coming out, but no one's dying. These teams are tanky and sustainable.
Yep. The Vladimir Nosebleed is he's working on his death cap, which he now has enough money for. Like, this is full damage scaling Vladimir. He did get the Proto Belt, but he didn't go for like a defense item like Zanya's. He didn't go for some other kind of utility. Like, he's gone straight into death cap. So he does a lot of damage right now. See, so Baron's up. I think that Apes the Other Strong can probably just force it because Warwick excels at tanking Baron because he's got so much sustain. Varus is going to DPS Baron very effectively. I think their main concern would be just getting caught by the CC combo within the Baron pit, which could turn a fight if the Ornn and Maokai ults are on point.
Another thing I want to note is Ornn's not level 13 yet. He doesn't have those upgraded items. So they're still pretty far ahead until he gets there.
That's true. He's completed his Abyssal Mask, so he'll have that. But also, the rest of his team has not really built upgradable items. Maokai's working on Sunfire, so he'll get that. But Kai'Sa tends not to build upgradable items. Maybe a later game Zanya's Hourglass. But that's it. Ryze is probably going for Death Cap here, which makes sense because he didn't build Ludens. But Set also doesn't have anything that'd be upgradable.
Ornn ulti coming out. 2-man Ornn ulti, pretty nice there. Varus uses his ulti as well. Maokai ulti down as well. That's going to be big for this dragon fight. That's going to be pretty big.
Yeah. I think Apes the Other Strong should just immediately force dragon because now, like, their main concern was getting caught by like an Ornn ult or a Maokai ult while they're in the pit and tanking Baron. They're going to force dragon, which makes sense because that'll be soul point. But like, the way they lose an objective fight would be get caught by the 2 tank ults and be tanking the objective and then just eat a bunch of damage from Ryze and Set. But with those 2 down and probably not going to be up before Dragon, they now have free reign to start these fights in the pit and not have to worry. They're sitting in a Death Brush.
I think they're trying to bait something out here, and I fully support this.
Yeah, I mean,
they know that they have to contest this fight. They know that they need to come in for this dragon. So they're not going to start it up to take additional damage. They want to just wait here and just show them that if you come in, you're dead.
Kai'Sa is going to use her Prey Seeker.
Oh, here goes Vladimir, taking some nice damage. But his pool is down for this fight, meaning he's very vulnerable. Set's going in with an ultimate, coming in, doing his damage. But then Warwick's going into the backline there. Vel'Koz ulti coming down. Kai'Sa takes out the Warwick. She's doing damage to the team. Vladimir trying to take out the Kai'Sa. He's in the backlines. He takes out Kai'Sa. They're back in here. Maokai ulti back up again. Ryze taking him out. Maokai, chunky boy. Kai'Sa's still alive. Not anymore. Vladimir comes in, flashes, ease her out of that fight there. Vladimir's not done. He says he wants more. He wants blood. His Q's up. He takes out Rise. He's going on to Maokai. He's gonna pressure him off. Triple kill to Vladimir.
And like, it's so back and forth there. And for a while, it actually looks really good for men's, women's Torment. They pick off the Varus because he gets CC'd while tanking the Dragon. The Taric goes down. The Warwick is knocked out of his ultimate early in the fight and is then just bursted down. But no anti-heal, no ability to answer the Vladimir. Maokai can tank the Vlad, but he can't kill him. And once Vlad flash E's the Kaisa, Rise is running low on mana anyways, so he's not able to get another kill. He's not able to finish off Vlad before he can just heal off of the Maokai, and Vlad just, basically carries that fight. I don't know how many kills he had before, but he's now 4-0. Working on Zhonya's, and with Zhonya's, he's going to be so hard to stop.
Yeah, they also got Infernal Soul from that as well. Vladimir, that's a fight he loves. He loves taking those fights. This team loves those long extended fights, and they thrive on them. They thought they were down and out, but they just sustained and kept going and kept going. And eventually, they came out on top.
So Vlad was bot, but he's rotating up towards mid because Vladimir's teleport is down, so he recognized that he wants to be at Baron for the fight because he's super strong, has a lot of presence here.
Warwick's trying to pick someone off. Not quite yet.
Vlad's sitting in a warded bush, so they know he's there.
Do it again, do it again, do it again!
But he has red buff, so he's just going to heal back up. Notably, Rise is working on Death Cap, but not there yet. He's like 700 gold off. So that big damage spike is not yet available for Zyari.
Well, they're split right now. They want to go in for a fight. Maokai ulti coming out. Doesn't quite pick off anyone right here, but they still want to go in. Hextech flash from Set.
I could see Set and there was a little bit of indecision there, where they throw them and they're like, all right, do we go up towards red buff and try to grab Warwick? Because generally we go down mid and try to grab someone there. They're going to be able to use that to reclaim vision around the Baron, and Maokai's ult is not a very long cooldown. It's probably about 1 minute to go. So I think they don't lose too much, but an engage that almost was.
Yeah. One thing that we need to note now is that we got an Orin Bramble Vest here. Maokai doesn't have his Bramble Vest yet to really counteract that Warwick, and that additional heal from the Vladimir is just really oppressive. They're gonna need to answer with itemization here to kind of counteract this enemy team.
I think their only other alternative is fight when Vlad's not here, like right now, because Vlad's in falling, or the Set Ignite.
So we're gonna see what they do when... Okay, so Vlad showed himself bot side. They might go in for an engage, but they can't quite get there because of Taric, because of Vel'Koz. Those people just alone can really keep melees like Ornn and Maokai away, especially with Vel'Koz, his E there, when he knocks people back. If they're melee or closer to him, they get back further.
What's really unfortunate there for the side of men's women's Torment is that Maokai is walking up to look for an engage, just like this one.
Looks like they might be going for something. Are they going to try and pick off that Warwick? Not quite there. Vladimir is TPing up for this fight. I think they want to go in. Vladimir sure as hell does. Let's go, boys. Vladpool coming in. Set ulti out. Set's doing the damage in the backline. Ornn, 2-man ulti down. Vladimir's isolated, but not enough from Vel'Koz's ultimate laser. They're all really low. Can they pick them off now? They're going to be coming down. The spooky ghosts come out. The stuns are going down. Ornn goes down. Vladimir's alive. Kai'Sa's there. Incredible fight. Incredible fight.
China is just like, look, I'm starting a fight. Y'all can come with me if you want to. He runs in there, gets, I think, a 2-man ulti. Set goes into the backline, but what we have seen in multiple fights now is Set goes in, and his Haymaker damage goes into the Cosmic Radiance, so he doesn't actually do that much. In the end, it's a 3-for-0 with 2 of the tanks going down. Apes that are strong will claim the Baron, and they're just like, They should
They're
be free to.
huge.
Yeah, they're huge. They are almost 7K gold ahead, up an Infernal Soul.
And
3
with
times the
Elder coming up
kills.
in 1 minute 30 seconds, they have the Baron. They have that pressure to just run it down mid almost.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to see them do here is look for try to get an inhibitor, probably in mid because there's no towers left there except for the base turret, so that when you want to go to do Elder, someone has to stay behind to clear the minion waves. Probably Zyari or Bob would be the best because they both have teleport and thus could get to Elder if they needed to. But it looks like they're actually just going to take the dragon fight instead because it is 50 seconds. They don't want to overextend and potentially lose a few people before the fight. One thing to remember about Baron, aside from buffing the creeps, which is the most visible effect, it does give you 40 attack damage and 40 ability power. So while you have it, it's not the team fight effect of like an Elder Soul, but it does still give you an edge in a team fight. So if you have Baron and you're just using it to win the team fight around Elder, it's still a good use of Baron.
Horn ulti coming out. Can he get a pick there? They go on to Varus. He is alone. Set ulti down. Knockup goes from this. Vel'Koz ulti going in. Taking out the Horn. Taking out the set. Warwick goes down to Kai'Sa. And here they go. Maokai's coming in. Kai'Sa's not dying. She's doing her damage. Rice goes down. Are they able to get the stun on Kai'Sa? Not quite yet, but Vel'Koz wants more. Kai'Sa flashes out. Meanwhile,
Yes.
Vladimir.
Set did a really good job there. He waited until the cosmic. Where'd Vlad come from? That's probably what Joseph was saying. Where the heck did Vlad come from?
Looks like they're going to be taken out and making game here.
Yeah, so Seth does a good job. He waits for the Cosmic Radiance to wear off, but like the Guardian and Bastion shield from Taric just absorbs all the set damage anyway. So very well played by Apes Together Strong. I feel like really they're, with one exception of that 2v2 in the bot lane, they were pretty much in command.
Yeah, they definitely took control of that game. They definitely knew what their win cause was. They knew that they could out-sustain them. They knew that they could fight, and they never backed down. They kept going. They kept getting those objectives, and those objectives were key to the victory as well. They couldn't be stopped. They were coming in, and they were coming in hot.
Yeah,
Great
like,
game all around.
absolute control of dragons, control. I think they took one Rift Herald, but you know, Baron, like all of the neutral objectives, they had control over, and the tank line just couldn't kill the Vladimir before he would heal all his damage back. And Kai'Sa being behind, I think, really hurt men's women's Torment because Zyari was doing decent damage, but Kai'Sa really couldn't. I think her only kill may have come in that last fight. And she just, like, as a short range ADC, if you're not ahead, trying to step up to do damage is so dangerous.
I agree. Great game all around. Good job for Apes Together Strong there. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get to game 2. Welcome back, folks. Here we're going into game 2 with men's women's Torment versus Apes Together Strong. What an incredible performance last game. Very fun, interesting team fights, and I'm very excited to see what they have to pull out this game here. Phoenix, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm excited to see these two play too. We had a lot of really great team fighting, a lot of really close fights in the first one. We do see some adaptations in draft. Apes Together Strong do run back a lot of what they did before, notably the Tarek and the Warwick, because they were like, hey, it worked once, let's do it again. That is a Nico mid, and it's actually a Ryze top with Cyanide playing Ryze. And this time they take the Kaisa themselves. Men's Women's Torment did ban the Vladimir. They're like, we don't want to deal with that again. So they draft Apes Together Strong, draft the Ryze for top lane. Cyanide definitely seems to be more comfortable on these mage top laners as opposed to like juggernauts or tanks. Men's Women's Torment, I'd say, have also gone very much in the opposite direction. They still got a tanky support in Nautilus and something of a tanky jungle in the Jarvan, but instead of a mage mid and a tank top, they go a Kali top Fizz mid. Lots of dive potential, lots of assassination potential. And they were like, look, we drafted 3 tanks last time, and the problem is we couldn't kill anyone. They had Cosmic Radiance, they had healing, they had all this stuff. They're like, all right, this time, people are going to die. We're going with Fizz, we're going with the Kali. Someone is going down. The question is who it is and whether they can get to the right back line. I think that with the Assassins, there will be more pressure on Apes Together Strong and Uncle's Alone Time to use the Cosmic Radiance well. Because against a tank, it's a little easier because most tanks don't have the burst damage to threaten a carry before you could get the ult off. But something like a Kali and Fizz have a lot of damage, even the Misfortune ult. It would very much be possible for the Nico or the Kaisa to die before the Cosmic Radiance activates. And so I think Uncle's Alone Time they're gonna need good wards to keep an eye on where Akali and Fizz are, and he's gonna need to be a little more predictive in figuring out when to activate the Cosmic Radiance to protect his carries.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Misfortune and Jarvan combo. Those two alone are pretty locked down, heavy damage. With the Nautilus, they can make some really good picks. And like you said before, with the Kali Fizz, they're locking down, they're coming in, they're gonna fight.
And notably, there's not a lot of options on Apes Together Strong to get out of the Jarvan ult. Kaisa can ult out if she's got a well-positioned target. Warwick can ult out, but everyone else is going to be forced to flash if they want to get out. So this is definitely a case where Jarvan has very good targets for him to ult, who then can't escape.
I completely agree. I'm ready to jump right into it and see what happens.
I'm ready to rock and roll. So looking at Runes and Masteries, it looks pretty standard on the side of Apes Together Strong. We have the Glacial Nico, the Hail of Blades Kaisa, Phase Rush Rise for kiting, which I think is going to be very important against this many assassins. Pressy Tech World, we do see them positioning for an invade on the side of Men's Women's Torment. They've gone through the lane, so they're not spotted. But they've been spotted on the ward.
Oh, they got spotted there. But they're still going in. I'm very excited. They got a really good lockdown level 1.
Yeah, it's possible they try to do this red buff. They just decide to bail.
They didn't really get any summoners. They didn't really see anyone on the map, so they probably know that they were sighted and need to go and regroup and start over again.
Oh, one thing to note, Juggrim, Harswolf, and Zyari have swapped roles. Zyari was mid last game, Juggrim was bot, and this time Juggrim Harswolf is going to be mid on the Fizz, and Zyari will be bot on the Misfortune. The things I find interesting are the Dark Harvest Akali, who took Dark Seal. That to me suggests that Bob is looking to be very aggressive. and look to get some kills early and try to snowball this lane. Because you tend to see a lot of Conqueror on Akali, but that's mostly against melees that she can trade against in these long drawn-out trades. And Tim Yim took lethal tempo on the Jarvan. When Jarvan goes for a precision keystone, it's usually Conqueror because he stacks it up pretty quick. It gives him damage, it gives him some healing. So I'm interested to see how effectively the lethal tempo works. Randemonium was looking for an invade on the red. He was going to do blue to his red. However, Bob actually dropped a ward on the red, which Randemonium then saw using his red trinket and backed off. He did not clear the ward, so that's good use of trinkets on both sides. Bob, because it prevents his jungler from losing his red buff, and good use of the red trinket on Randemonium's side to not get pincered in what would likely have been a collapse by mid and top.
And that going on as well, bot lane there, they knew that Warwick was tough. They saw that ward and they started engaging and being a little bit more aggro towards the Kai'Sa and Taric, and it actually made Taric have to back.
Yeah, he didn't have to burn any summoners, but it means that Kai'Sa's going to be zoned off the wave because she no longer has Taric to protect her. Taric is missing experience. He is missing gold from steel shoulder guard procs. So that early trade is going to give an advantage to the men's-women's Torment bot lane. And notably, Jarvan being top, even though he was spot on a ward, did force Ryze to back up. There's now a very large wave, though.
Yeah. The way that Jarvan was pathing, he was going to be going topside anyway, so I don't think Akali really wanted to push hard on this Ryze. She wants Ryze to use up his mana, and so when Jarvan comes in, she can get that easy kill.
Yeah, because Ryze is pretty good at deflecting ganks if he can get the EW combo down because of the length of time the root lasts. Collapsing on a Randemonium here.
Oh, almost. But they might look for a counter. Wait, you see Akali trading with Ryze here. She actually might kill him. She does get Ryze Flash, but not enough damage to really shut him down.
And I believe, I would assume that she did get the Dark Harvest proc, so even without the kill, getting the Flash and getting that Dark Harvest soul is still a win for her. Also, Randemonium was forced to flash out of that to avoid the Nautilus hook, so he's going to have to be a little bit safer, has fewer options to engage, because pre-6, Warwick either needs then the target of a gank to be kind of out of position, or to flash fear.
Jarvan is looking topside. He's coming in for that gank inbound, but Akali was pretty far back. I don't think she's able to react to this.
Yeah, though, good use. Cyanide did get the root down, but Jarvan can still use the EQ combo while rooted, because neither of the individual abilities are movement abilities, so he's still able to get onto Cyanide, get some damage, and burn a potion charge. I think Bob should probably be looking to back here soon, though, and spend his gold and then TP back into lane. Small CS lead in the bot lane, pretty sizable CS lead in the mid game. Jugram Harswald doing well in the Fizz. He's 12 CS, he's 2 waves up on the Nico, and so he's about almost 300 gold ahead. So not a large amount at this point, but there's about a 300 gold lead for men's women's Torment, and it's basically the Fizz in mid lane.
Well, has him backed it. He really wants these minions and that XP to get to level 6 early.
Fizz is also almost level 6. He needs like one more minion. So, and the root's down. I would not be surprised to see him immediately throw the fish, since he just got level 6.
He is level 6 now. He does have that level advantage on the Nico. But I think he's being pushed up right now. Nico understands this and is now playing a little bit more passively. And it's really smart on her part. Both junglers are pretty far away, so she can't get really that gank quite yet.
Yeah, I think Jugram's trying out the way to push back, but it's still definitely on Nico's side. Bob does teleport back. Notably, Bob did not have a Hextech Revolver. Only the double amp tome. Probably was a little bit of gold short and wanted the revolver, but just didn't have the health to stay around any longer.
I think Fizz here is like looking for that gank, but he doesn't have a bot lane up, and his jungler is going to be farming right now. So I think he's gone back to CSing here.
Yeah, Zyari is back, picked up a longsword and a BF sword. Um, so there's a huge amount of AD on the Misfortune. I don't know which build for Kai'Sa that King Majora is going to be going. I personally prefer the Essence Reaver.
A little bit of a fight up top here. It's looking like a heavy damage. Ryze might be able to finish her off, and he does. First blood Ryze. Good trade there.
The minions betrayed Bob. I don't think he expected how much damage the EQ through the wave was going to do.
Oh, but it looks like they want to transition. And a flash by Tarek. Good flash to dodge that Nautilus hook there.
You could see that Fat Tiger was kind of like, he was posturing, trying to get the auto off first, or trying to like force Uncle's Alone Time to flash early so that he could go for the hook. But he's forced to throw the hook because he's not fast enough. Nautilus has a big old land command. It's kind of slow, and Uncle's Alone Time responds with his flash. I think that Men's Torment should be able to get the air drag here. Warwick is topside looking at a mid gang, but he's not 6 yet.
Now, I was reading up a statistic that people who take the first dragon usually have about a 20% chance of winning a little bit harder than most games. What's your thoughts on that? Thoughts on dragons? Because I've noticed that every game here has really been heavily decided on who gets the most dragons.
So, I have a lot of thoughts on this. So a lot of people will say that it's because, the team that was already winning, that already had map control, they get the first drag. And they say it's correlation, not causation. But I do think there's a link there because compared to last season, with the changes to what dragon buffs give you, almost all dragons are now combat buffs. Previously, the Earth and the Earth Soul gave you bonus damage to objectives, to Baron and Dragon, and to towers. Water Drag gave you out of combat regen, and Air Soul gave movement speed, increase out of combat. But now Earth Dragon gives you resists. Water Dragon gives you resists that work in combat, and Air Soul gives you ult CDRs. So before, it was like, okay, the enemy team got an early Earth Drag, but if they're not winning fights already, they won't win fights now, because it doesn't make you any stronger in the fight. Same with Water Drag. But now, having an Earth Drag means that you are actually tankier and thus able to win fights more. So I do think that there is a link between the first drag and the win, because with the possible exception of Air Soul, which still allows you to be ready to fight more often through having your ult up more, you get actual combat buffs out of a dragon, regardless of which one it is. You get regen that works in combat, you get damage, you get durability.
Oh, we got an engaged bot side here. Nautilus ulting up. MF flashes back. Puts down her ulti. She's exhausted. Nautilus is in danger. Here comes Warwick. Clearing up this bot lane here for Kai'Sa and Tarek. But we do have a Fizz. Is he going to come in and try and do... No, he sees the Tarek ulti. He sees the Tarek ulti's burnt, so he's just going to go back.
Yeah, and even just the threat of the Fizz Shark. It's Chum the Water. That's what it's called. Just the threat of Chum the Waters does force the Tarek ult. And I think it shows good awareness by Uncle's Alone Time, where he's like, if I wait until the Shark has hit Kai'Sa, it will be too late.
And we're looking for an engaged top here. And that's a lot of damage from Akali. Flash on both sides. Akali takes out Ryze.
She just whacks him with her little spinny toy, and that cleans up an answering kill, which I think is going to be really...
There goes the pug. And there goes the pug.
I don't know if they saw Warwick on wards, if there was caution pings from Men's Torment, but it looked like Juggernauts was looking for the fight.
Oh. Looks like slippery little Nico.
Yeah, she's able to avoid the Jarvan EQ. And she did use her barrier on the Fizzle, so I think he realized that because of the barrier and the possible presence of Warwick, he wasn't going to be able to get the kill, so he just did.
Oh, Akali's going in. but Rise is answering back.
So yeah, so there's three. Okay, so 75% of all deaths in this game have occurred in top lane.
Oh, is he in danger? No, he gets out. He's okay.
So I want to say I'm proud of Cyanide and Bob here because of the amount of kills, because that is the true top lane mentality that you engage when you can see your lane opponent. That is the signal to engage. I once heard that.
Oh, it looks like Jarvan really wants it, but doesn't know the Warwick is right there. Ulti in, taking out Jarvan. And now they might be looking at Rift Herald.
Yeah, Warwick is exceptionally good at taking Rift Herald, so this should be an easy objective pickup for Apes Together Strong. To paraphrase a rugby quote, a rugby joke I once heard, mid lane is a gentleman's lane played by hooligans. Top lane is a hooligan's lane played by gentlemen.
I love it. Down goes Fizz, but they're able to pick up the Nico.
And I think, okay, it was with Fizz's help, so Fizz does trade flag for that. I thought they would have been able to engage on Bob there because he was pincered in between the Warwick, but Warwick chose to just focus on taking the Rift Herald, getting that objective.
That's some nice damage bot lane here. Is MF able to pick up some of these kills? Oh, she gets a Taric Flash, so best at that, she gets a Taric Flash here. And Dragon is up, so they do have priority to take the Infernal.
And Jarvan, immediately starts it. He thinks that Warwick is on top side, which he is. Warwick is probably going to use...
Akali tries to get out, but just unable to get away from the Warwick there. Now they're gonna trade the turret for that Dragon here, taking the Shelly, going in, pushing up the tower, getting those turret plates, especially Healy right before the 14-minute mark where those plates drop.
He's just looking for it here. If he can get the Shark,
might be able to. And he goes in. Is he able to get it? He does. Is he able to escape with his life? I'm pretty sure he can. This is an angry Puppers. And he's out of there.
Yeah. Uses the Nimble Strike, Urchin Strike, to dash back through the Warwick after Warwick follows him. So that's a good pickup to answer. Notably, even though it's 6-3, it's about a 2,500 gold lead for Apes Together Strong. Much of that because of the top turret and the fact that they got all the plates on top turret. I'd still call this game pretty close to even because of the two dragons on the side of Mental and Torment. They now have access to that Ocean Soul win condition, which will do a lot for Akali, for Fizz, for most of their team. And so even if they're down on gold, as long as they can keep the gold lead from getting too huge, if they can claim the Dragon Soul for themselves, they're very much in this game and able to win. Zayari is also up on CS compared to King Majora. So they have that bot lane point of strength for them. And Misfortune is stronger right now than Kaisa is.
Getting pretty big. They're going in for an engage here. Nautilus ulti. Nautilus Q's in. Gets the Kaisa. MF ulti down. Can they get her down? The Taric ulti's going in. Here comes Warwick. Down goes Taric. But is that MF's life? It is. The dog comes in. He misses the hook. Kaisa's going in for the damage. She takes out Nautilus, coming out on top there.
That's tragic. I think they were pinging, and Zari was pinging the Akali teleport. I think they were hoping for an Akali TP, but I don't know if Fat Tiger had the hookup, but I think he needed to try to hook the Warwick off of Misfortune, because if he did, they might have still been able to turn that fight, because Kaisa was out of the fight anyway.
Oh, here comes a dangerous play. Here goes the Rise. Rise is pretty big. Akali does have some nice damage, but Rise can answer back quickly. Double flash coming up. Rise comes out on top, and he takes the tower with him.
Literally, the perfect execution part 2 is not able to finish before Akali goes down. And so, probably that would have been enough damage to trade back, but isn't able to get it.
Flash into ulti, going in on Rise, takes him out.
Yeah, the slap from the Lance there.
A lot of plays happening all around the map right now. It's hard to see what's gonna happen next. Every lane is going in, fighting, dueling, battling it out, and it's very entertaining to watch here.
One thing I would say from the bot lane fight that was better for Apes Together Strong than it was for Men's Women's Torment, because Kaisa got a kill and Misfortune didn't. She only got the assist. So the gold lead is essentially even now. It's only about 100 for Misfortune, even though she's about 20 CS. Also, Bob has not yet finished his gun. He doesn't have a completed item. He's actually very far behind the Rise. He's almost 3,000 gold behind the Rise at this point. Rise is working on Death Cap. They need to get Akali into a side lane and leave her there for a while uncontested so that she can get some farm. And it's basically a situation where Men's Women's Torments are going to have to play down a person for a while until Akali can get some itemization online, because she's not strong enough at this point to really participate in fights, except for maybe trying to clean up.
Whoa, Fizz damage coming out. Is he able to kill it? He is! He takes out Nico.
And that's
very nicely done.
Very nice.
End up getting double stunned. Here comes Warwick. Ulti coming down from Tarek. Takes out Misfortune. Are they able to pick up the Nautilus? I think they are. They're hunting him down. They want blood. Flash coming in from Tarek. Stunning Nautilus. Now there's Jarvan. There's Fizz. You're going to protect his buddy, and he's out of there. There comes the ult, the TP from Akali. But Rise is answering back. He's there too.
Yeah, everyone shows up. There was a bit of standing around with like, are we going to fight or are we going to run? And I feel like Fat Tiger was like, guys, I want to run. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. And they do disengage, but this may give the third dragon over to Apes Together Strong.
And that's pretty big for them. That extra healing is massive, especially if they can... And imagine if they get 4.
Yeah, and mostly the big thing is it delays Soul Point.
Here goes Rai. Quick work from the 2 engaged top and mid there. Akali takes him, Fizz takes him, and he's just melted.
Yeah, this is very much...
No.
The big win here, I think, for Apes Together Strong is that it denies them the chance. It denies Men's Women's Torments a path to an easy soul. It will delay it now by another 5 or 6 minutes.
I think right now they're going to be looking for just that easy money. Trying to get that extra gold and push a lead back into this game.
I'd like to see Rise get a Banshees, because realistically, if you're a squishy on the side of Apes Together Strong, your only threat is Fizz. Zyari's doing good damage, but you can probably escape from the Misfortune before she can kill you. But the Fizz is doing massive damage. And just the sight of things... Yeah, forces the Warwick ult. They're going to drop the Rift Herald. They're going to crack this mid tower and maybe get the second if they're willing to push with it.
Yeah, they got all the members there. Akali is going down to contest that bot side, but they're going in. They want money. They're hungry.
Yeah, Rise is... Alright, they're going to get the second charge. Not a second tower, but they're looking to cut off the Kaisa and the Tarek here. King Major and Uncle Time are very much in danger.
Akali damage. Here she comes. There they go. No. Tarek ulti down. He flashes out. Gets stunned, but it's too much. Oh, they take out Akali, but they can't live with their lives. They're going down.
But they do trade a tower for it. Like, they lose their mid tower. They might lose mid tower here. Warwick is not an exceptional tower pusher, but they've got enough waves that Rise and Miko should be able to help them get the tower. So I don't know if that was an amazing trade for the side of Men's Women's Torment. They lose a top laner and get a tier 1 in return for 2 kills, neither of which had a shutdown, and 2 towers. So, I mean, the gold is good, and notably, I think both of those kills went onto Zyari, which is very good, because the Misfortune, not quite there on the Infinity Edge yet, but quite close. She only needs about 400 more gold. I think they need to keep looking for windows to have Fizz get onto carries and get kills. while trying to funnel money onto Akali and Misfortune. Like, yeah, they need leave Akali in top lane, let her, just get these minions, try to get whatever farm she can. She does have Sorcerer's Shoes and Hextech Gunblade now, so she is doing decent damage. Next is probably going to be I would guess a Morello, or some kind of defensive item, like a Banshees or a Zonia's. Warwick notably went for Gargoyle's Stoneplate before Titanic Hydra finish, which suggests to me that he is very much committing to being a frontline here.
Oh, Misfortune, you found a terror. Now she's leaving.
Yeah, Rory, you're getting strong, but you're not as strong as be walking solo in an unwarded jungle there.
Now I want to bring light to this here. They're about even in kills, but it looks like they got that two dragon lead here. But they're down a lot of gold. Is it just because of just the kill? No, it wouldn't be kills. Why are they down so much money? Towers.
So it's 5 towers to 1. With first turret, so the extra first turret gold went to Apes Together Strong, and Trade of Flashes in the mid lane. And the top tower, they got all the plates. I don't know if they got any plates in bot, but essentially all the tier 1s and 2 tier 2s are down for Men's Women's Torment.
Now, I do want to try and catch Rise, but he's just going to ulti out of there and be safe.
And that's a lot of people to rotate up when this dragon is coming up. They know they're posturing around it, but Bob, you are definitely going to...
Oh no, here he goes! And there he goes!
Yeah, I have... he throws up the Blitzcrank question mark emote. He knows what he did. I've definitely TP'd to save wards, but you sometimes die for it.
Yeah, I mean, right now, that's Ocean Drakes coming up. They're going to tie them on dragons here. They have that 4v5 that they can definitely even fight them. They can't... It's hard to really contest this, but I want to see what they're going to do here.
I think they can try to contest it because Nautilus and Misfortune ult are very good in confined spaces. Fizz has the damage. He's just been forced to use Trickster, but it's only 8 more seconds. If they can get the good...
They've started Dragon. Are they gonna engage? And then Blast goes over it into a Nico stun. MF ulti down. Nautilus goes in with his ulti there. Taric ulti in. Warwick's getting that Jarvan. Jarvan goes down. Can Fish go in and clean it up? No, he cannot. He's gonna get melted by the team, and they take Dragon as well.
That's second drag and 3 kills. Well, 2 kills plus the Bob kill over to Apes Together Strong. They may look to do Baron here because Jarvan's dead. And Warwick's certainly ranking up to it. Yeah, Kaisa is extremely good at destroying Baron. She has a lot of percent damage. So this should be a pretty clean Baron take because Apes Together Strong. I don't think Bob or Zayari are going to be able to really contest this.
No, and I think they understand that. So MF sitting mid. Akali's looking to just get that extra CS, try and get back into this game.
Yeah.
Now, the gold differential is starting to get a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger. What do they need to do to get back into this game?
They need Fizz to kill a carry, and specifically they need Fizz to kill Rise or King Majora before the fight starts. Basically, if Cyanite or King Majora walks towards an unwarded bush and gets hit by the Fizzle, notably Rise is building Banshee's Veil but doesn't have it yet. Kaisa is building Zhonya's Hourglass but doesn't have it yet. They need a 4v5 where one of those 2 carries is dead before the fight starts. Because then they can put all of their engage onto the other carry with the Nautilus ult, the Misfortune ult, maybe the Jarvan ult, and try to burst them down. And then the Nico's behind and has a very utility build.
Misfortune's on the front lines, and down she goes! Akali's going in. Can she get out, though? She's gonna definitely try. She goes back in! She's trying to make that kill onto Kaisa. Can't quite get it. Nico, big ulti. Jarvan comes in. Tries to trap them in. Not enough. Down goes Nautilus.
And the issue there was that was the sort of reverse of what I was saying, where they try to fight when Fizz is not there. The Chum the Waters is going to be off the mark, so I think this is probably game for the side of Apes really strong.
They're coming down. They got that Baron buff. They got the 2 Oceans there. They're healthy. They're going in. They're going to take that first tower. Hey, what's Fizz going to do? He's getting chunked in by Rise. Down he goes! Taking that inhibitor turret there, and now they're going on to the Nexus. Couple more cracks, and GG. Apes
strong.
Together strong.
That is very well played. By the side of Apes Together Strong. I think that
there was a big turning point in that game. They were about even. They were making the trades, but then just a couple different situations where they found themselves getting caught out, where that Taric stunned them, or the Rise was there, or the Warwick is there. Especially that Warwick did a really good job at coming in, counter ganking, tearing up the enemy laners there, and getting his team that extra lead that they needed, and snowballing in, getting those objectives. They lost the first 2 dragons, but they came back. They got the 2 Oceans, and they got the Baron. They came in, and then they just ran it right down the mid lane and taken that nice W. Good job, Ape Together Strong.
Yeah, so one thing I'd also highlight that I think was maybe a miscommunication in draft was, so Jarvan built Warrior into Titanic Hydra, and with lethal tempo, so he doesn't really have a lot of durability. Jarvan's shield scales off of his maximum health, but he didn't have that much health. And you have an Akali top lane who's behind, and obviously not a tank. So you don't really have a lot of a front line. Jarvan was usually getting exploded by the time his ult had gone off. And Nautilus, support tanks can't be your only front line, because they just don't have the money to build all of the tank items that a solo lane or jungle tank can. So I think that they did first pick the Akali for men's, women's Torment. I think Jarvan needed to recognize that they had the Akali and go for a tankier build. Or if they had intended to pick the Jarvan and go with a more damage-oriented build, they needed a tankier top laner and not the Akali. Because they just didn't have the front line to withstand the Rise and Kai'Sa damage.
Very well said there. As for that game, very well done by both teams. I will be signing off for the next couple games here and passing it over to the next shoutcaster.
I will also be signing off, so it was great catching up for you guys today. Have a good evening, and we will hopefully see you back here next week.